Hi, in this video I'd like to talk about the way that many people have now got a more fonder, more pleasant memory of the Bush administration. It's easy to feel that way when you look at what Trump is doing to America, the way that his minions talk, the whole issue of fake news has never been worse, ever. America's standing in the world has never been more dubious with leadership like this. And it's so easy after what we went through the last 8 years with Obama to think, wow, I mean, compared to Trump, at least Bush was more reasonable, etc., etc. And maybe some of you watching this are younger than me, likely, but I lived through the 8 years of the Bush administration, and it was not a fun time. Many of the feelings I have about Trump are flooding back the way that I felt about the Bush administration. Remember, it was very, very dubious the way Bush was elected. He didn't win the popular vote. Florida had a recount that the Supreme Court stopped. They ruled, conservative Supreme Court ruled in favor of Bush. Big surprise. And they even said that this should not be used as a precedent. You know, they ruled in favor of Bush versus Gore, but they said, you know, don't do what we're doing now ever again in the future, because what we're doing we acknowledge is terrible, terrible precedent. So he was president. Um, it's always shocked me how conservatives didn't lose their minds that 9/11 happened under his watch. He went to his ranch in Crawford. He went to the other Bush residences, the family residences. Took so much more vacation than anybody else had, except for Trump. Trump has blown that out of the water. Obama never took as much vacation as Bush did. So let's see, he takes a ton of vacation, is a complete imbecile, makes America look like crap in the world standing. We lose a ton of influence. 9/11 happens. The country comes together, which they should have. Under any president, the country should have come together. But no one can tell me that if the Supreme Court would have ruled for Gore, or the recount would have been completed and Gore would have won, the conservatives wouldn't lost their minds that 9/11 happened under Gore. The fact that Bush got reelected blew my mind. That election night, I couldn't believe it. And there's still a ton of evidence that shows that something fishy was going on in Ohio, and that Kerry won in 2004. So there's plenty of people like me that see Gore as legitimate president in 2000. There's people that say that Kerry should have become the legitimate president after 2004. Luckily, Obama's victory in 2008 was strong enough that nobody just questions his legitimacy, except, of course, Donald Trump and people like that who started the whole birther movement. But let's not forget, Bush lied us into the Iraq War. Thousands of American lives were lost. Thousands of Americans have been servicemen have been injured. It's not like the veterans were taken care of. Veteran suicides were still big under Bush. They've never gotten the services they need. Bush tried repeatedly to privatize Social Security. Look what happened under the financial crisis. If all of those seniors would have had the stock market playing with their Social Security, then it would have been so much worse. We got the equivalent of the Great Depression on the current generations, thanks to deregulation that was admittedly started under Clinton, but it was accelerated under Bush and pushed and pushed and pushed. Bush was president for 7 years before the Great Recession started. 7 years. You can't tell me that his finger and his people he chose, hadn't have had an effect on the economy after 7 years worth. But people love to blame Clinton, blah, 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 blah. Just the same way that conservatives blame Clinton for 9/11 happening, even though Bush was president for 7 months up to that point and not reading his security briefings at all. And that's well established. But, Obama got Osama bin Laden, but Americans, conservative Americans like to say, oh, that's because of Bush. Bush, was responsible for all the military stuff during his administration, which of course led into Osama bin Laden getting killed. But I think that's all crap. What I just want to say in this video again is, don't think so fondly of the Bush administration. Look back, watch videos of people talking about how disturbing it was, the whole fake news thing is not new. This did not start under Trump. There were plenty of nut jobs on behalf of the Bush administration spouting lies after lies after lies, and the more you repeat it, the more you repeat it, the more you repeat it, they figure eventually people will stop paying attention and they'll just accept it. So yeah, it's worse under Trump, but it was not wonderful under Bush at all. It was the worst thing that we'd had since Nixon. So, worst presidents in history? Nixon. Sorry, I apologize. Trump, Nixon, Bush the Junior. You know, we can argue who's number 4. Have a great day.